absolutely love coming here. You are one of the best crowds that we ever display to. So if you like what you're seeing during the flying display, please give the pilots a round of applause, cheer a little bit, and make it a lot more fun for me as well. So, as I said, we are the Royal Air Force's aerobatic team, the Red Arrows. So we represent not only the Royal Air Force, but we represent Great Britain. We're very proud of everything British. We're proud of British aviation excellence, British engineering excellence, and general British excellence. Probably our most famous diamond formation, and they're led at the front by Red 1 Squadron Leader Ben Murphy. We know him on the team as Baz, and he's in his third year. Correction, he's in his fourth year on the team, and he's his first year as team leader this year. I fluffed my lines in the first manoeuvre of the show. Sorry about that. Now, Baz is a former Harrier pilot. He flew on 1, 4 and 20 squadrons, and like all of the Royal Air Force's Harrier pilots, he's seen several operational tours in Afghanistan. And the main job of the pilots there is to support the young men and women of the British forces and our coalition allies who are in some very difficult circumstances. Now, Baz is a keen kite surfer and a keen runner, but he's also got the team's best fancy dress costume. Baz has a lovely, very fetching Barbie outfit, and we've had to see him wear it 3 times already this year, and it's enough to make a grown man cry. Okay, just behind the ridge, positioning now for the next manoeuvre, the team are shaping up into what we call cranked arrow. Reds 8 and 9 are in the 2 outside positions of this formation. They're just hidden to us at the moment, but very shortly they'll be appearing from the right-hand side. Now, the man on the left wingtip of this formation is Red 9, Flight Lieutenant Simon Ray. We know him on the team as Kermit, and it's because he sounds like Kermit the Frog on the radio, but that's maybe because he comes from New Zealand. So here they are now on the right-hand side, pitching up as they fly the cranked arrow roll. So there's Kermit on the left wingtip, the lowest man as we look at them now, and in probably the most difficult position for this formation. He's right back on the power, ruddering in towards Red 1 at the middle to hold that position as they top out there at about 2,500 feet. Now, these aircraft are just 6 to 8 feet apart, or if you want that converted metrically, it's about 2 to 3 meters. The team now are forming diamond formation again, so 8 and 9 slide in to make the shape work. Now, 2010, as you've already heard, is a special year for the Red Arrows because this year we have our first ever female Red Arrows pilot. That normally gets a cheer from the crowd, and for me, as I said earlier, it's long overdue. And our female pilot is Red 3 Flight Lieutenant Kirsty Moore. Kirsty was born at RAF Nocton Hall, a former RAF hospital in Lincolnshire, and she's the daughter of a Tornado GR1 navigator. Her father served in the First Gulf War, in fact, and was a prisoner of war. He inspired her, though, to join the Royal Air Force and become a pilot. And she served as a flying instructor of this aircraft, the Hawk, and also on the Tornado on 13 Squadron at RAF Ballon, where she saw service over Iraq. At the moment, though, she's in Diamond 9 formation. I thought you'd like to hear that. That's the radio calls as the pilots change to Tango formation. It sounds to me like they're having a great time up there. Tango, as you can see, is a T-shape, and it's very unforgiving to the pilots. The 2 straight lines that make up the T means that the smallest errors in position are visible to us down here on the ground. So they'll be working particularly hard to maintain that formation, and in fact making a very nice job of it too. So the smoke comes on now. They are 400 miles an hour as they come around the corner here, although it looks very graceful. And they're tightening up now. This is about a 3G bend as they pass us in Tango formation. As we're a formation display team, I better tell you a little bit about close formation flying. All of the pilots are holding their position by reference to the lead aircraft alone. So they're all staring at Red 1 at the front. As you can imagine then, they can only see their wingmen around them out the corner of their eyes in their peripheral vision. So that requires complete trust between all of the pilots. And we spent 7 months in the winter season training up to build in that level of trust. If you're in a wide position or towards the rear of the formation, there are aircraft between you and Red 1. So that's even more difficult to maintain your reference, which is why we put the most experienced pilots in those outward positions. Normally the second or the third year pilots on the team. Now, behind behind us, over the ridge there, somewhere down towards the city of Bristol, the pilots have formed Apollo formation. We'll get to see it very shortly. Apollo is named after the Eagle landing craft of the 1969 Apollo 11 lunar landing missions. And you'll be able to see the shape of that as they fly the next maneuver, which is called the Apollo Twister. Now, it might be an American moon mission, but this is a very British formation, because as they appear, very shortly we'll see them with red, white and blue, there they are, as they fly the Apollo Twister. Now on the far right hand side at the back of the formation, with red smoke on the wingtip there, is Red 4, Flight Lieutenant Dave Davis, known as Horse. I won't tell you why. And he's in his second year on the team. He formerly flew the Tornado F3, which is an aircraft that provides UK's air defence alongside the Typhoon, and also formerly the Falkland Islands air defence too. Now Horse is our Welsh representation on the team. I'm sure there are a few Welshmen here today. I can hear you cheering, well done. Well, Horse is from Colwyn Bay in North Wales. He went to Brynellian School there, and he's got a degree in mechanical engineering from UMIST. Okay, so Baz calls for the smoke to go off. Now the next manoeuvre is quite spectacular. And as it develops, I'm going to tell you about the man at the back left of the formation, the highest man as we look at them now. That's Red 5, Flight Lieutenant Zane Sennett. Now last year, I used to joke that Zane was the second best looking man on the team, after me. Unfortunately, this joke fell flat on its face when I was at Bournemouth Air Show last year, and a member of the public told me I really wasn't very good looking at all. So Zane's the single man of the team and I was ruining his summer. So I won't tell that joke anymore. I'll simply say that Zane's a former Harrier pilot, one of 4 Harrier pilots on the team, so again, another man who's seen operational service in Afghanistan. And in fact, in Zane's case, he served 4 operational tours out there with 1 squadron. Now, as they're pulling up in front of us now, Red 4, Red 5, that's Zane and Horse, roll back to the back of the formation with a little bit of red smoke, and now the shape you see is Blackbird formation. As they fly this is a really difficult manoeuvre to fly this. As they fly this twist here, the pilots are working really hard to maintain that position. Because it's so wide and big, it makes it all the more difficult to hold that shape together. Now as they fly over the top of this loop here, they're about a mile above us. Believe it or not, the speed's back to 200 miles an hour, and as they speed up down this hill, they'll hit 400 miles an hour by the bottom, and they'll twist away from us at 4G. I think Zane introduced himself to you there by leaving a little bit of white smoke on there, a little bit longer than he should have done. He must have heard what I was saying about him. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I mentioned earlier that this is the 70th anniversary of the Battle of Britain this year. So it's very important to the Royal Air Force for our heritage, and that the Luftwaffe, that was the adversary in 1940, was such a capable enemy, makes the victory in the Battle of Britain all the more significant. So, as our mark of respect to the veterans of the conflict of the Battle of Britain in 1940, the next manoeuvre is for them. This is our salute to the few. So the pilots, we can just see them above the trees there now, have formed Spitfire formation, or if you prefer it, you can call it Hurricane, and this, for me, is our most patriotic manoeuvre. As they pitch up now, the red, white and blue smoke comes on, and in Spitfire formation, this is the victory roll. With his white smoke on, at the back of the fuselage of our Spitfire is Red 7, Flight Lieutenant Dave Montenegro, known as Monty. And with a name like Montenegro, you're probably not surprised to hear that he was born in Bogota, Colombia. But he came back to the UK at the age of 1, and he grew up in Beckenham, Kent, where he went to Elaine's School, which actually is in fact is in Dulwich. He's a clever man. He's got a degree in politics and theology from the University of Manchester. And he's in his second year on the team this year, a former Tornado F3 pilot and a flying instructor on the Hawk. He's also synchro too, so we're going to see a little bit more of him in the second half. Now they've turned in towards us in about a 3G turn in Phoenix formation. It's the widest formation we fly. There are some 300 feet between the 2 outside aircraft, Reds 8 and 9. So as they roll out here, 8 and 9 on the wingtips not only have to roll to match the leader's angle of bank, they have to make big power changes and climb or descend a long way to maintain the formation position. So they're pulling up now in Phoenix and get ready to change to chevron.